this pay-per-view, like whatever, like they had to shift course on this pay-per-view. I think in hindsight, if this was the card, they would probably not be running this pay-per-view. This is going to be the real test of what the AEW brand means, because it's a tremendous card on paper. But I do feel that this is going to be the one that, what is the momentum of their pay-per-views? Does your audience just, it's an automatic buy because it's an AEW pay-per-view.
Yeah, but even to that end, I am a little disappointed because like I think like even without your world title match being a believable like, you know, possible change, I think they're like, we've seen enough creativity in Tony's booking for these pay-per-views that he could have created something that feels a lot more like a spectacle that you can't miss, right? And this show thus far, unless they announce something really big on Collision,
It's
like,
not. This is it. Way. This is. I know you're holding
Rougeaus will be wrestling.
Oh, that's right. Jacques is going to get involved with. Is a bandito?
Yeah, I just like.
What if Aleister Black shows up with Jacques?
And like, why do you bring him up? Because
I don't know. I just am. That's why.
Like it like, you know, I was looking for something like on the level of like, I don't know, like a lights out something, you know, it's just something that feels like, you know, it could be like, wow, like anything goes, even if like we're not getting a title change, like I gotta watch this match. I don't think the show really has that so far. Like it doesn't really seem to, like, it's going to be great wrestling. Like Fletcher Bandito is going to be awesome. Omega Knight is going to be awesome. Bucks versus like Osprey and Osprey. Yeah, that should be awesome. But it's not so much above the level of anticipation I would have for an edition of Dynamite. And I think for a pay-per-view, you need to like be several steps above that.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the more interesting numbers to see what they can pull for what does feel like a transitional show before All In next month and such. But I think if you're intrigued by the card, then that's going to sell you. But if you're looking for that, man, I can't miss this show. I can't say tonight's show would have got you over that level. It's some really great matches, but it does kind of feel like a bit of a holdover show, which it does tell you the level we're talking about of the expectation on pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the blessing and the curse that AEW has set this ridiculously high standard that's the curse of the bar that you have to be able to maintain, not just quality-wise, but also interest-wise. That is what sells a pay-per-view, is the interest, not the end result. I'm sure Sunday night, everyone's going to be raving about this show, but it's the interest before the show, not after the show.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
10 matches announced as of with the inclusion of this 6-way ladder match. So we kind of already let's just talk about the ladder match quickly. We have Jack Perry, Beast Mortos, Commander, Speedball, and then either AR Fox or Nick Wayne or Leo Rush or El Clone. And by the time most people are listening to this, you probably know the Collision results by this point. Let's, for the sake of argument, say Nick Wayne and Leo Rush. Doesn't change my outcome. I think Speedball wins this. I think to overthink it in Montreal is unnecessary. Jack Perry would be the only outside one where he is getting this renewed push.
True. Yeah, Perry winning would also make a lot of sense. But man, it's Montreal. I think like in lieu of like Speedball getting like a bigger story for this show, give him like the big moment, you know, and it's a TV match, you know, like you could honestly have anybody win. Fletcher's going to retain because he's going to All In, right? So to defend the title. So I really do think it should be Speedball.
And there's many opportunities. Like you could do it on any week's TV. You could do that at Grand Slam Mexico. Like there's no reason you can't do that. And the promise is you're going to get a phenomenal TV match with Kyle Fletcher coming out of this. If you don't think Bandito is winning the title. Bang Bang Gang against the Dogs, double chain match. I just think this is going to be your bloody spectacle. I just think everyone's going to bleed. I imagine Juice Robinson is going to bleed to near unconsciousness. That's my prediction in this match. Do we get a new dog? Is there a new dog that shows up?
I think a new dog would be nice. I mean,
all these 90-day no competes are up. Is anyone dog worthy?
Oh, okay. Interesting. Of the crop, what would you suggest? Who would you suggest? Not Santos Escobar. Not Malachi Black, I guess.
No,
even though he's not a part of this crop.
Woof, woof. Nobody noticed that if you listen to my promos backwards at 1.5 speed, it often
God.
is in the dialect of a canine.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about that.
No, maybe not.
I'm trying to see who else would even be in the realm. I mean, I feel like they have plenty of people on their own roster that might be able to use a spot, but
What a novel idea. Let's find some people we've already signed that need positions, and we elevate from within instead of just hiring more people from the outside.
who wins?
I'll say the Dogs win this one, actually.
I think they need it. I think they're yeah. I mean, I don't think it ends. Certainly, this feud, it feels like it's just barely starting, and I think the Dogs need some heat.
I think we need some heel wins on this on this show. Hikaru Shida and Maya World for the TBS Championship. I think Maya World is getting that big win. Maybe it's against Athena, maybe it's elsewhere, but it's not Hikaru Shida, and it's not in Montreal on short notice.
Sheeta seems like she's just getting started, and I think like she's catching like pretty decent momentum with this new character. I don't see Maya World ending it. World's destination to me feels more like I don't know, maybe like Death Before Dishonor and Athena perhaps. But this does keep her in the conversation at least.
Now, I think we should break the fourth wall. We are going to have post-wrestling representation at this show, correct?
Correct. Kate from Montreal and Braden and Davey are going to be there.
Oh, Braden and Davey are going. Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. I'm behind on my listening, so I'll take your word for it. Now, my question to you is that will the three of them come home and then watch this match and
This
share their
one?
thoughts?
I don't think so. Well, they're not responsible for star ratings, of course, but I don't know. Maybe Kate will, but Kate's pretty busy too with like G1 coverage. So, yeah, maybe we'll get 2 ratings, okay? Live versus at home.
I'm interested where this one is positioned. I could see this one struggling if it's late in the show.
Sure. Yeah, I could too. But I think the crowd will have like Maya World support. I think she's still got a lot of that, like maybe sort of underdog, appeal to her. But this is like not getting any sort of like publicity on Dynamite other than like that one little promo segment you saw tonight.
She took her kendo stick.
She took her kendo stick. That's it. Yeah. So it's not going to be, I think, that hot. But, like, unless Montreal is just like, a really strong crowd for everything, right?
The forum is like, okay.
It's back.
It's loading now. I was getting, it was down momentarily. Okay. So we see Hikaru likely retaining that one.
Yeah.
The Death Riders, Will Ospreay and John Moxley against the Young Bucks. This should be amazing. I'm going to predict this one goes 25 minutes. That's my prediction.
That feels long, don't you think?
I think they're going to get a lot of time here.
That feels like it feels like you should need that long for this style of match, which should be pretty.
Given who's in this one, unlike past Buck, like the Bucks at Forbidden Door, I see this one actually going late. I don't see this one being an early one for the crowd. And
I might be looking forward to this one the most out of everything on the card. I mean, it's a Bucks and Ospreay match with Moxley, so.
Just like Will and Nick Jackson just going at it here. Like that what a fun TV match that would be. Just to do that one at Arena Mexico. I would imagine. Well, this one's interesting, right? Because the Bucks should not be losing on this road toward the tag titles. Like it's the same thought of, they are the tag team in this scenario, and maybe you do some cross up between Ospreay and Moxley. Ospreay should not be losing here. The Bucks probably shouldn't be either. Does Moxley take a fall here?
I feel like of all the people here, maybe Moxley would be the one I feel might be. But I mean, he's also
if Ospreay is the one that loses the fall here, and that's conceivable. I think that's a really poor idea here. It should be Moxley that suffers the loss, and I think sometimes AEW, they worry too much about protecting people when they have to lose, and I think it's a holdover of just like this idea that you fall down such a peg if you lose a match, and I don't think that's reality.
I mean, certainly in the finish, there will be, if any of these guys take any sort of loss, there will be some level of protection to like justify that, like this isn't the normal scenario. This is like, very unlikely circumstance that led to this. But if this wasn't a tag team match, if it was like a trios match, I think you could pin the Bucks. This being a tag team match that would have like some ramification on like the standings, you're talking about the Bucks who are number 1 contenders. I just don't really see that. Them
like this should be the match that clinches they are the tag the tag challengers for All In. Like they should win this. If they are going to do like the cross up, I hope it's something more subtle than just like misses the hidden blade and nails Moxley or something. Like
Moxley
I hope it's
holds up on Matt, and then Ospreay hits it by accident.
Like I hope it's something clever. Okay, it doesn't have to be subtle, but I hope it's really clever, and it plants the seed for something.
So
down the road.
Again, in all of this, like it's not really clear what Moxley's direction is at the moment for All In, and like how closely he will be tied to the Ospreay Omega match. But they're clearly ramping up for something. And even tonight in tonight's match, like there was a moment where Ospreay had to choose between tagging Omega and Moxley, and he chose Kenny. And I even think something like that small, might be enough to like piss John Moxley off, so that the gears may be working to eventually turn on him. I would look for that to be furthered here through something that may ultimately cost John Moxley like to get pinned.
That's my thought in this one. Like I do think the Bucks, they have to go over in this one, which takes us to Cage and Copeland against Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. Who's your prediction for this one?
I don't think we're getting a title change, and also probably the national heroes will get the victory.
I would actually be tempted to put this match on first. Super reaction for the Canadians, and like this is as foregone a conclusion as possible on this show. Give them your 15 minutes. I don't think they have to go any longer than that. I'm not that interested in this match. I know it will be good, but I don't think it's going to be the match of the show. And it's for Copeland and Cage in a Canadian market, I think this has been kind of underwhelming.
I agree. I mean, I also think like it's a strong test of like their abilities, for the level of like athleticism that they're still capable of, like at this age. Because like, I mean, we're talking about Claudio and Pac, like two just like, I think they set the highest standard for that, like that's this type of match. So I like, if these two are going to like have a really strong performance, it'll probably be dragged out of them by Claudio.
Well, if the standard's high for this one, it's going to be exponentially high next month. But they're going to be facing the team that I would have all the faith in the world that if you suddenly didn't have utilization of like your legs for the match, they will pull you through it and give you a classic.
Even if you can't use your legs, as long as you have legs, you could be put in a big swing. So
that's true. Kyle Fletcher and Bandito for the AEW International Championship. Everyone is banned from ringside. I think this is probably another foregone conclusion, but I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this match. I'm really looking forward to just like whatever it is that these guys get, 18 minutes, whatever it is.
Bandito is a guy who like, I don't know if he's ever in any sort, like when was the last time he was in like an actual like juicy storyline? Yet I feel like he's pretty much on every single pay-per-view. And that's
when Abuela was involved.
Yeah, that seems like forever ago, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure he's been in, but like he never feels like he's like a prominent sort of like focused character. Yet he's on every single pay-per-view, and I think that's for good reason, because like he's gotten to the stage where like simply advertising Bandito versus blank, it feels like it's a pay-per-view worthy type of like draw. And I certainly think that's the case here with Kyle Fletcher, who in his own right is that type of guy. So I'm looking forward to it just based off the match alone.
I think they beat this guy way too much in Bandito. I know I just made the statement about like protecting guys when they lose, but it's more so it's the patterned losses that you just, once Bandito gets to a certain level, he's going to fall short, and he typically does in these situations. Like he just has incredible match after incredible match, but he's a very special talent, but you're going to get like this being match of the show, very possible.
Yeah.
With the exception, the Painmaker, Chris Jericho against Tommaso Ciampa. Now, all things aside, they could have a very good match here.
Yeah.
But this gimmick is, I think this is going to be a gimmick that is going to be heavily panned on Sunday night.
If this is strictly Chris Jericho versus Tommaso Ciampa, and they cut like maybe like a more elevated series of promos, but like kept it somewhat grounded in reality, I think I'd be accepting this a whole lot more. Instead, like there was, I think, plenty like of juice left for them to like
there will be lots of juice.
get out of like the history that both of these two men share just with professional wrestling. I'm sure they would have been able to find like more linkage that they could have like gone into. Instead, I feel like it's been sort of like muddied by this very poor cartoonish attempt at dark and brooding from Chris Jericho that, like he came in with that Ricochet feud and I think like gained a lot of positive momentum, like overriding a lot of like the negativity that he created over his last run. It's starting to like that luster is starting to wear off, unfortunately.
He didn't receive the backlash when he came back. So it's like, you know what, let's put all the chips in. I think I could get away with anything. So yes,
but the match will be the final say. Like if the match is strong, if it's like delivers the level of violence that I think you are promising with the gimmick, then all will be forgiven. Right.
I like the beach break match, and this is this has the no holds barred component to it. Like they could very well have a very good match here.
Screwdriver to what part of Chris Jericho's body?
The power drill.
Yeah, power drill. Yeah.
Screwdriver is fine. Power drill, I don't know how they're going to do that. But they've almost like they've teased it too hard not to use. Maybe he'll miss him and he'll drill the turnbuckle pad or something.
That won't be satisfying enough.
No. Okay. Well, then Haymaker by mutilation, Ciampa wins.
Maybe he'll do it to like Ciampa's beard. Like they'll just like wrap it all
with a
in
drill.
Yeah, wrap it all up in the screwdriver and then like pull on the
maybe he has a power saw.
The power drill. saw the hair.
This could either be surprisingly great or horrifically bad.
I'm sure it'll be.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be horrific. Jericho wins in Canada.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, because Ciampa won the last one.
Yeah, that would make sense. Mark Davis and Andrade El Idolo for the national championship. I'm very high on this Andrade character at the moment. He just seems like he's connecting on all fronts. That said, the idea of Davis retaining and then maybe they save like this for Grand Slam Mexico, I could see that as a reason to like you hold off on this. But Mike, I feel Andrade is going to be one of the most popular people on this show on Sunday.
He feels really hot right now. Like, coming off of the babyface turn.
I think they've got a shirt out now, which was very smart.
A How You Know shirt.
Yeah. They need to get a dumb bitch shirt out as well. They've been slow on the draw for that one. But Andrade, they were quick to press those.
Yeah. Title change for this one, maybe a bit harder to predict because, like, I mean, like you would expect Andrade to win, sure, but Davis is also really great with this championship, and I really love this run continuing. I think there's a lot more you can do with Davis, as this champion. So I'm expecting the title retention. Yeah.
Tekla and Willow Nightingale for the AEW Women's Championship. It's a really interesting match. I think you could go either way on this. Like the idea of it's almost like if you were to, like the idea of Ospreay dangling his shot would be preposterous for next month, but Willow dangling the spot that you could see them holding off. Like she doesn't get the title here and it's another time down the road. Like doing Tekla and Mercedes, they're not going to lose anything by doing that match and holding off Willow. They could go the three-way direction or they could just keep it real simple. And I kind of don't like the idea of Willow just winning the title here. Like it feels like it should be this big culmination for her. And this does not feel like that.
I think the culmination, like, I agree. But like, I also think you have to have Willow in that spot. Like, I think like the women's championship crowning moment at Wembley is kind of made for her. She stands to gain the most from having that final shot than anybody, certainly more than Mercedes and more than Tekla. And therefore I think like she should still be there. So I really do like the idea of a three-way. Like I think Tekla retaining here again delays Willow's like big coronating moment like for Wembley. It sort of extends the chase a little bit more because Tekla will probably win by nefarious means. And like you adds a lot of personality to what would otherwise be a Willow versus Mercedes feud, which I think would be okay, but it would be taken to a higher level with Tekla involved.
Yeah. How do you get there to the three-way?
I mean, Tekla would have to screw Mercedes or Willow somehow. I mean, and then Willow would need a case for, why. Maybe Willow puts up a stipulation. I will never challenge for the AEW Women's title again if I lose.
And I'll shave my head.
Wow. Just throw it all in there?
Throw it all in there. It's a double stipulation.
There are ways. That's their job, not mine.
I'm kind of leaning more towards the three-way. Yeah. Tekla and Mercedes has always felt like a weird mix, just the double heel dynamic. Not that they couldn't do it. I think you kind of do need Willow in the mix, but
I think it works. I think it all works. Like, I mean, the audience will be cheering for Willow, wanting to see Willow win. But you also, have a strong heel presence in Tekla there. Mercedes is also a strong heel presence, but she'll also have her supporters as well. So, but I think this really balances it all. The only question is like if there's maybe further Stardom something for Tekla that they may be planning instead for Wembley.
What if Taro Okada makes an appearance?
He costs her the championship.
Yeah,
maybe. No,
I think that's a Wembley move.
I think all the Stardom stuff will probably just take place in Stardom at this point. I think like Tekla is like, other than Forbidden Door, I think she's kind of, this is a better role for her than like even a match against a Kairi Sane or something that people seem to, be speculating on.
It's one of the more interesting matches on the show, booking wise. Not as interesting booking wise, but certainly just in terms of how he comes out of this match. I think Kevin Knight, this is obviously by leaps and bounds the biggest match of his career, taking on Kenny Omega for the AEW championship. And I'm sure that Kenny is going into this with the idea that people do not view Kevin Knight as a headliner in this role, but at the end of this match, they will. We are going to put together the performance that convinces everyone. Like, this is almost like a step back. We are taking one step back with a main event that on paper does not sell, but coming out of this, Kevin Knight is going to be viewed in that light, which is a tall task for anyone to pull off. But I think I think Kenny is going to go out and want to have like the match of the year here with Kevin Knight and treat this as a huge, like, for Kevin Knight to make his career ascend to the next level.
That means like he essentially kind of has to have that mindset for pretty much like every singles match he's about to have, because he certainly needed it for MJF. We'll certainly need it for the Will Ospreay match where that pressure is.
I think he's got to have a big match here. He probably has a big match in Mexico, and then it's all in. I think those are going to be the big matches of this title run.
Yeah, and that's just like, I think Kenny Omega on a pay-per-view. You're probably going to get that level of effort anyway. And we'll see if they achieve it. I just, the talent is strong enough in there that I think you would expect this to be great. Whether or not it's a match of the year contender will be another discussion. But for Kevin Knight, like, it seems to maybe, I love the fact that they're so like serious about putting him up into the next level. Like, this man was in Jet Speed not that long ago, and like from the moment of the turn, they immediately escalated him to the point now where he's in the main event of a pay-per-view. And I think it only served to like bolster his status at this level for the future. And ultimately, I think the match will have to could expand that even further. Like, it needs to, honestly, because if this was a disappointment or flat, it would be a real missed opportunity for Kevin Knight.
Yeah, it's also, it's one that, like, this match is happening for, it's not being booked for the night. It's being booked for the future. Because for the night, you could have done Kenny and Moxley. You could have done Kenny and Okada. And for the night, those would have been way bigger matches if you were just concerned about doing a big number on pay-per-view. But I think they're looking at this as, yeah, we're probably costing ourselves buys by doing this main event, but it's an investment that this is going to tell our audience Kevin Knight is of this level. And it's a gamble, but I don't hate the idea that, hey, we are booking for the future here. We're not just going with this select club of main eventers and no one else can get into that group.
Do you think there should be extra care put into how you book the finish, given Knight is your TNT champion? Like, how do you get out of this?
I think the idea here is that he comes out of this as not better than Kenny, but he's like right at the cusp of getting this guy, and that if they were to meet a year from now, Kevin Knight could beat this guy, and it, in theory, could put even more value on this title by him being so competitive with Kenny. It's imperative that he have like the best match of his career on this show, and that everyone is just buzzing after this.
I wonder if you even give him some sort of some version of like a heel like visual pinfall, like just to kind of like
does he kick out of the
justify.
one-winged angel? Is that like his takeaway from this?
Yeah,
Like that's a
okay.
big deal to
Almost
do.
too big. I think they should be really careful with doing that. You already had like MJF kind of do one, right? Like you could, but yeah, like Knight should leave this match with something that he could kind of like hang his hat on to be able to say like, this
Right.
guy is at this level, you know?
So there you go. That's the show. I won't lie. I'm very intrigued by the show.
More to be announced, I'm sure, because like there are a lot of missing. Well, like Darby, like do we expect him like on the show?
I mean, we went through all the names. Like, I don't expect Swerve or Mercedes to be thrown in at the last minute. They are not last minute additions to a pay-per-view. I would assume Darby is like, if part of me is happy Darby is not in this ladder match, like just throwing him into a ladder match for no reason. Yeah, I mean, you're not going with a full deck for this pay-per-view, but yeah, I'm sure they will round it out with, you have to imagine, at least 3 more matches that probably get thrown onto this. And where would Mystico have been on this show? Would he have been in the ladder match? Would he have been in something else?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
It's July on the Post Wrestling Cafe, and that means our extensive G1 coverage begins starting July 11th. We're going to have reviews of every single G1 card right up to and including the finals in the middle of August. Plus, Rewind Away takes a look at 2 episodes of Heels. We're also going to be going back to 2005 for a review of WrestleMania 21, and it is the start of our double shot episodes covering this season of Dark Side of the Ring. Plus, we are going to dive into the 3rd season of WWE Unreal. All that and so much more can be yours by signing up to the Post Wrestling Cafe. It gets you XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, Collision Course on a weekly basis, MCU later, and so much more.